Welcome everyone. Good morning. Happy May 31st, month end. I think I was a little crazy to do this on the last day of the month. But that's what it is, and we're going to go with it. So I'm excited. We had a couple technical difficulties. I left my notes at home. Y'all ever done that before? They're sitting nicely in my printer. So we're going to make do. I'm excited to have those of y'all who are joining us long distance. If you're having any issues, text Amanda or Brittany or post in the Facebook group, and one of the other directors will be monitoring that. We're also on the conference call, so you can call in and listen to that. I did upload all the files that we're going to be talking about, as well as all the homework and everything. So those of you that are at home, you can listen in and follow along with some of those as well. But just want to do a little bit of a recap. So I need to start recording on my phone. Hang on a second, I forgot. And then I will pull my notes off my phone. Okay, so we're going to recap a little bit from last week. Pull my notes back up again. Or the last 2 weeks, really. I know I've gotten a lot of good feedback from the Catalyst. You guys are really enjoying this, yes, and it's giving you some good momentum and things to work with, and really helping you build a strong foundation for your business, and that's really my goal. I do have, I think I posted in the homework that you can order the CDs of this if you want to. Of course, Matt's posting our videos from our YouTube on there as well. Couple things to recap. We talked about from week 1, we learned that Mary Kay is 15% what? Skill, and 85% guts, right, guts, okay? So as a brand new consultant, it doesn't matter really if you have the skills, right? It matters if you have the guts to go for it. And that is never true more than in these last 4 weeks of our seminar year. You know, it doesn't matter what you know, who you know, how much you've done, what's happened the last 11 months. It matters what you're willing to make happen on the last day of the month and then to our last month of the year in June. And so this is the most exciting time in Mary Kay because today is going to be the day. It's so fun to be in Mary Kay on the last day of the month, right? With all your Mary Kay friends on Facebook because all you see is these victories and victories and victories and victories. And I was listening to a CD. The National Sales Director, Julia Mundy, was sharing. She said, I have started this new thing. She said, sometimes we see someone else being really successful, and there's a place in our brain that's like, oh, I wish that was me, or oh, I've tried and it's not happened, or I really wish I could. And she said, so this is what you're going to do. You're going to change your thoughts. So every time that you see someone else achieving something that you want to achieve, or that you see yourself doing, that you know that you want to do, she said, you have to say out loud, I call dibs. How many of y'all ever called front seat, shotgun, right, when you were a kid? And that meant no one else could take it away, right, because it was mine and I get to sit in the front seat. And I was the oldest of 5 kids, so I had to play the oldest card a lot and say, now I'm the oldest, I get the front seat, right? But you say, I'll call dibs. So what that means is that, when you see that success out there, if something else is happening with someone, that means you can do it too. So it switches your brain from going, oh, only her, and I wish it could be me, to say, I'm going to do that too. So that's your new phrase. I'm going to hear y'all saying, when you see something on Facebook, you see someone else's victory, you hear someone else's victory, you listen to a CD, you say out loud, I call dibs, right? I'm going to do that. And that changes your mindset to go, that can be me too. Instead of going, oh, it's only for her. Because it's not. It's not only for one person, right? Mary Kay didn't say we're only going to let this many people earn a car or this many people become a director. Anyone that's willing to do that work. And so it's just starting with changing that thought process in your mindset. We talked about your V stands for what? Victor, right? Victor or victim. Y'all got a lot of people in your life that are called victim. We're not going there. I know I'm really excited to hear how you all are saving in your Mary Kay, your dream account. What is your Mary Kay dream that you're saving towards? Your director should know what that is, because I save it in my phone, in my contact for you, so that I can help you, remind you of that and bring you back to that place and what you're excited about. So what is that you're putting the money in your dream account for? Your monthly tracking sheet that you're using. This one's on the purple, but our bold, bolder, and bodacious. Today is the day that you go, I'm going to finish one of these levels. Whatever happened May 1st through 30th, this is the last day. You could do 15 faces in one day, right? You can make up the sharing appointments that you need to make up so that you reach this level. Remember, we're having a special dinner at Seminar in Dallas on July 26th, which is my birthday, so y'all get to come to my birthday party. Throwing a birthday party, y'all get to come. And it is when you attend and complete all 4 Catalyst classes, okay? So we're done the first half, we're into the second half now, but all 4 Catalyst classes, you do the homework. There's not a deadline for that homework, okay? I didn't say it has to be done today. Ideally, yes, because you're going to get more homework today to add to it. But, as long as you finish that homework, you'll get that prize. But you do the 4 classes, you come to do all 4 sets of homework, then you get to come. Your director is going to buy your dinner. We're going to a really cool place. I've been wanting to go, so I'm excited. It will be a surprise, of course. Y'all can't know. But we're going to do that on Saturday night, July 26th. The other way that you can get to come to that dinner, and this is like for your new recruits, or for those of you that for whatever reason didn't quite get your assignments done, you can do the Boulder level in June, and you get to come to the dinner. If you do the Bodacious level in June, you come and we buy your dinner. All right, so you get a free dinner by either doing Bodacious in June, which is your 50 faces, 20 sharing, 1,000 wholesale, or the 4 Catalyst classes and all your homework, okay? You can come to the dinner and buy your own if you do the Boulder level in June with your 30 faces, 10 sharing, and 600 wholesale, okay, and coming to Seminar. So July 26th should be circled big on your calendar because we're going to have a party, and I want you to be able to come and join with us. So it's going to be a really special group from our national area, our future national area, that's scattered all across the nation. So as you're wrapping up your your level of your tracking for May, you're looking back at this month, okay? You're looking back and seeing, what have I really done? This is the activity. Keeping in mind when we look at our activity level, we have to take our emotion out of it, right? Don't be so emotional about it. This is just a tool to diagnose what needs to happen or what needs to change in your business. It's not for you to get mad at yourself and upset and frustrated because you didn't do this or you didn't do that. It's a place for you to say, okay, where can I grow? I've had lots of faces, I'm not getting that second appointment booked, or I'm not selling enough basic skincares, or I have lots of faces, but I have no parties listed on here, okay? This is your diagnosis tool, right? Just like doctors use tools to diagnose, this is to help you diagnose any issues in your Mary Kay business that you can make adjustments and you can fix, and you have the freedom to do that. So that's what tracking does. Not only it helps you grow, but it also helps you see areas that you need to tweak. And that's where it's really important to talk through that with your sales director. I know you're working with your wedding list, right? I know that there's no way you have contacted every single person on that wedding contact list in your spiral notebook, okay? There is still plenty of people. I still have people, after 17 years of Mary Kay, there is still plenty of people in my circle that I have not facialed. Or I asked a long time ago, and it's time to go back and revisit that. And so that contact list is that spiral notebook that you're going to be constantly working with and going back to and revisiting, so that you're always having people to work with and to talk to. You never run out. There is plenty of skin to go around, y'all. Absolutely plenty. And so go back, think through. You can brainstorm people in your life from a long time ago, former jobs, former coworkers, who do you know? Krista mentioned that she got a list of referrals from her boyfriend. He gave her a list of people to contact, right? So that's getting creative, thinking outside the box. So do not ever tell yourself that you're out of people, that you're out of leads, because it's simply not true. You will never, ever have that. If you really and truly don't prejudge and don't say, well, she wouldn't be interested, I don't think she could do, no, you just ask. You just go out there and you ask them, and you go after that. We're in the process of talking a lot about Seminar, right? Seminar is coming. This is our one big annual event. I'm going to read you something for our National Sales Director, Deb Pike. I'll try not to mess up my mic, of what she says about Seminar. And this is a chance for you all to get to be around our National Deb Pike, our Senior National Jan Harris, the most incredible women. And here's what Deb said. She said, have you ever heard of burning desire? It's that feeling that people have when they know that they're going to make something happen no matter what. Have you ever wondered where they get that burning desire? Desire comes from feeding our imagination, finding out what's possible, and beginning to believe that it's possible for you. Feeding your imagination is your task. No one can do it for you. How do you get out of your own little box of small thinking and believe in new possibilities? Choices, choices, choices. Your number one choice of the year, the one which could determine your success in the coming year, is to attend seminar. Seminar explodes your thinking. It blows the lid off those little boxes. It plants dreams and convinces you that it can happen for women just like you. Seminar feeds your imagination with rich feasts that can sustain your desire for your next 12 months. If you've gone to seminar before, that's not enough. Just like we can't go to the gym one time and be healthy, right? Your imagination was not yet ready to dream the dreams that you're going to find this year. If you've never gone before, then absolutely this is the year for you. Some consultants say that they'll attend and they've had more success and feel the deserve to go. It's like learning. Some consultants say that they will attend after they've had more success or after they really feel like they deserve to go. Here's what's wrong with that thought process. That's like learning to hike and buying the right equipment after you've climbed Mount Everest, right? That doesn't really make sense, right? You're going to prepare and then you can be successful in the climb, okay? Seminar is not about what happened in the past year. It's about what you want to see happen in the year to come. You don't earn the right to go through your achievements. You claim the right to go because you want this year to be different and to grow. It's 4 days of education. What a small price for this and so much more. The far-sighted woman knows that it doesn't cost her to attend. It costs her not to attend, which is what we talked about last week. I would never have achieved what I have without seminar. I have never missed, and I never will. I need it every year. Make a decision to not only attend seminar, but to no matter what, to know that no matter what others choose, you will partake of the feast. Let yourself indulge your imagination limitlessly and begin to experience a burning desire that takes you to previously unimagined heights. Mary Kay believes in you, and so do I. You deserve to go to seminar, and you absolutely can make it happen. Where there is a will, there is a way, right? And absolutely, if I could guarantee that you will double your income if you go to seminar, do you think that sounds important, right? If I guarantee that it's going to put you one step closer to becoming a Mary Kay millionaire one day, I think that would be important, right? But it is. It absolutely dramatically changes you, and it changes your family's future. And it's not about saying, well, I'm just going to stay home and work. Wrong answer, right? That's never, people think, well, maybe I should do that. No, that's not going to be effective. You learn, you grow, you are changed by being in the environment of seminar. And I have, early in my career, we pinched pennies. We begged, borrowed, and figured out a way to have the money. I think my first seminar, I took my husband, and we shared with one of my one of my offspring, well, she was a consultant at the time, but she became my offspring, and her husband. We shared a room together, okay? So, that's the way we could afford to go. But we found a way to get there. And so you find a way to get there of whatever that looks like. And registering is first on your list because it is going to be full. So getting to seminar is so important. Our goal is to have 100 attendees from our Bullock national area, and I am really excited for that. We are on our way. We talked about, I know that many of you did in your homework, the time study. Did we learn a lot in that time study? Right? Opportunities for growth, okay? We're not going to get down on ourselves, not going to mad at ourselves. Trust me, I've done a time study many times over the year, and every single time I kind of want to shoot myself, go, oh, my word. So frustrating. But look at those as opportunities to grow and change. I was listening to a workshop, and the guy was talking about, he said, what would it take for you to come pull weeds at my house? He said, I want you to come pull weeds at my house. Would you do it for $50? Mm-mm. Would you do it for $100? Mm-mm. Would you do it for $200? No. Would you do it for $500? Okay. What is your time worth? What would it be worth it for you to get paid to go do a menial task for someone else? That's how you value your time and yourself. And so every time you're cleaning your own toilet or weeding your own garden, unless that's something you really like to do, okay, that's all right, then it can bring you joy. But if there's a lot of tasks that you're spending time doing, scrolling through your Facebook, 3 hours a day, that's costing you thousands of dollars, right? Now, there's nothing wrong with Facebook, but if it's spending a lot of time, if you sat there and, had a little machine that added up every minute that it's costing you $1 a minute, what if you had to pay $1 a minute to be on Facebook? Or to read those emails, or to watch TV? Just picture that in your head. Those things are costing you, costing you. And so make sure you are just really aware of your time and aware of what you're spending it on. We talked through our colored affirmations. Who remembers our colored affirmations we've been doing? All right, I'm going to give y'all a little quiz here. Y'all at home have to participate too. Are we okay? Are we working pretty well? Okay. So blue is what? When you see the color blue, you think I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Okay? And what about yellow?
Only good things happen.
Only good things happen. I like only great things happen to me and those I love, right? And what's red? I'm a people magnet. Everyone wants to work with me, right? Everyone wants to work with me. And then we see green, we say?
I create wealth.
I create wealth for my family. Yes, okay, that is exciting. So keep working with those affirmations. And your IPAs, have y'all been tracking your income producing activities and reporting in to your director on where you're at with those? This really helps you make sure that you're spending your time in the right areas, right? Making sure that you're really looking at that. So keep in mind, I listened to this today. She talked about, or the other days I'm listening, I always listen to Mary Kay CDs in my car. We know that results show up about 3 to 4 weeks after the activity. Okay, so we're in a society that we want instant gratification. We want to immediately show up. We want to go hold a party and already sell $1,000 and have 2 new recruits and be on target for our car and have it happen right away. And that's not the way it works in a Mary Kay business. It takes 3 to 4 weeks and really up to 90 days to fully see that momentum. So that's why we don't have a rough day or a bad day or a not so great party and go, oh, it doesn't work. So where you are right now is a reflection of what you were doing 3 weeks ago. How many parties were you holding 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago? What were you doing in April and the end of April? That's why you are where you are right now. If you had a really, really great May, it's because you planted a lot of seeds in April. Okay, you did a lot of the activity in April. You want to have a really great June, it's going to start right now with who you're on the phone booking, who you're inviting to your events, who you're working with. That's going to show up later. So often do we plant seeds over here and then they grow over here, right? How that's going to happen to you in your business. And so keep that in mind. If you're not seeing the results that you absolutely want to see, think 3 weeks. Check back in 3 weeks. I'm going to look back at this in 3 weeks. I'm going to look back at this in 4 weeks, in 60 days, in 90 days. But really, you start to see the beginning of that in at least that magical 3 to 4 weeks. Doing your Mary Kay mental bath, that really makes an impact after you've done week 2, week 3, week 4. You start to see that momentum and that snowball effect, right? It starts a little tiny snowball, and the more you roll it, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So it continues to build, and just keep that in mind. Listen, she talked about we cannot get past something until we stop focusing on it. We cannot get past something until we stop focusing on it. So what story do you keep telling? Everyone's canceling. Everyone's canceling. Everyone's canceling. Everyone's too busy. No one's buying anything. No one has any money. No one wants to recruit. Everyone I ask doesn't sign up. Everything keeps moving. What story are you telling? What are you speaking? Your words have power. We have learned that, right? So we got to fix it. I'm broke. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough bookings. I don't have enough. I don't have enough. I don't have enough, whatever. Or are we thinking bigger and more abundantly? So what story are you telling yourself? What do you find yourself keep hearing? What are you saying to your sister consultants? Even if you're not saying it to your sales director. I'm frustrated, I'm frustrated, I'm frustrated. Let's change the word I'm frustrated to I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated. That means this is interesting and I'm going to figure it out, right? This is fascinating that everything that I have booked recently is moved. I'm going to figure out the problem and we're going to fix that, all right? Fascinated. That's your change. We're going to change that verbiage. I am fascinated. I'm not overwhelmed. I have a very full life, right? That sounds much more, makes you feel much better, right? So it's just tweaking a few of that little verbiage. She talked about, Joyce Meyer talks about that, when you're looking at something and it's just, you're not feeling it, you're not seeing it, it's not happening, whatever isn't there, you say to yourself, these are your magic words, giving you lots of magic words, this is subject to change. This is subject to change, right? She talked about, Joyce Meyer talked about being in a doctor's office and they gave a not very good diagnosis and she looked at him and said, that's subject to change. Because I believe in a big God and I'm going to pray and that answer is subject to change. That diagnosis, subject to change, right? Your date book, it's subject to change. Your checkbook is subject to change, all right? So it's how you're looking at it, how you're thinking about it. So whenever you feel stuck in somewhere, ask yourself, what is the first step that I can take to be solution-oriented? We talked about that with your master to-do list. Is your brain dumping everything out on paper? What is my next best step in this area? I feel like I'm not spending enough time booking. Okay, so what is my next best step? What if I carve out a specific time, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, that from 12:30 to 1 o'clock, I'm going to book no matter what? Or can I set an alarm in my phone to carve out a set time to do that? What is the next best step? Okay, you don't have to fix everything immediately, but it's becoming solution-oriented. She talked about that when you have an inspiration or an idea or a thought process of, oh, I need to do it this way, you must immediately take a supportive action towards it. When you immediately, even if it's just writing it down, okay? If you immediately take an action, a step in the direction of that, it has an 85% higher chance that it happens. 85% higher chance that it happens when you take an immediate supportive action. Okay, writing it down, putting in your date book, making that first phone call, whatever that looks like. So that even if you wait 24 hours to take a step in that direction, it drops to below 30% that it will happen. So, that's where all that research and the scientific, and it's fascinating to me. But that's really thinking about that, how important it is to now, do it right now. Make that phone call that person, or schedule that time that you're going to. Go out and figure out that CD that you need to listen to, fix that whatever thought is in your brain that you need to fix or get rid of. And it's taking that immediate action on that. And this is the question that you are going to start asking as you're working with your new recruits. You all are team building, and even asking yourself as you're looking at your Mary Kay business, evaluating yourself. Are you looking for your Mary Kay business to be some extra play money? Or would you like to substantially improve you or your family's financial situation? Are you looking for your Mary Kay business to be some extra play money? Or are you looking to substantially improve your or your family's financial situation? How you answer that question, or how your new team member answers that question, is going to dictate where we go from here, right? What steps they take, how you move in that direction, what you go with that. I'm going to encourage you on your weekly plan sheet that you're doing, right, as you're evaluating and looking ahead and planning that ideal week, figure out what are your blocks of time. In each 2-hour block of time that you're going to dedicate to holding a Mary Kay party, I want you to write down $100 profit in that time period, right? So if you took that weekly plan sheet, you plug in everything that you're going to do, and then you plug in your Mary Kay appointment times, and each 2-hour block that you're going to hold a skincare class, you write $100 profit. Okay? In each 1-hour block that you're going to hold a facial, write $50. And those are low numbers, low averages. So if you did that for a week and then add those numbers up, what is that profit number for your family? For you? Multiply that times 4 for the month. What if you did that for a whole month? Even at a small level, it's hundreds of dollars. The average family in America that ends up filing bankruptcy, $500 a month would have kept them from having to file bankruptcy. $500 a month. You can make an extra $500 a month at Mary Kay really easily, right? So there's people in your life that really need just that $500 a month. And so this is how you do that. When you're sitting down with someone and she said, I really want to do this, I'm just too busy, we sit down and you pull out a weekly plan sheet. What I taught you all 2 weeks ago. And you have her make that weekly plan sheet. If you don't have one, you just write it on a piece of paper. Okay, let me block out. Let's pretend this is your week, and let's block out your class, your work, your responsibilities, your family, your church, everything you're involved in. And guess what? I promise, no matter how busy she is, there's extra blocks of time, right? And then you had her write down, okay, here's 1 hour, write $50. Here's 2 hours, write $100. Here's 2 hours, write $100. Here's an hour, write $50. Now that's powerful. You have her do that on a little weekly plan sheet or on a piece of paper, and you let her add it up. Okay, so that's, 2 hours there, 2 hours there, and then 2 1-hour time slots. That's 2, 4, 6 hours. That's an extra $300. What would an extra $300 a week do for your family if you fit Mary Kay and squeezed in these spots? So it's helping her paint her into the picture of Mary Kay, and for yourself as well. When you look at that wedding list, right, your contact list, And one of the most important questions as a consultant that's really made the decision to move forward in her business and says, okay, I really want to do this as a business. I really want to make money with my Mary Kay business. You have to find a way to get some products in stock. You have to. Period. End of story. You have to, or you will find yourself so frustrated. So if you have that contact list and you have at least 40 or more people on that contact list, or even on your customer base, if you're already an established customer, then you need to have at least a 3,600 wholesale to 4,800 wholesale in stock. Because subconsciously, we hold ourselves back when we don't have what people want. You know, there have been many times over my career that I've gotten my inventory not in a good place, you know, and so then I have to go back and reinvest more, you know, and learning that money management all over again. And so part of your assignments from today's homework is going to be go home and do an inventory count. What inventory do you have in stock right now? And then you decide what your goals are, right? We just talked about when you're setting your goal for the month of June on a consistent basis. What is your goal for how many parties, how many faces you're going to be holding? And does that support that? Because if not, you're going to find yourself frustrated. And so you know what? People find money for what they want to have money for, right? We know that. And we know that. And so if it's important enough, you will find a way to do it. You know, I can't tell you how many national sales directors, I mean, our national, Deb Pike, I think went to like 6 different banks before someone would give her a loan for her inventory. Okay? You know, because she knew it was important and she had to find a way to do that. So adequately having your product stocked is so important. Because are you truly investing in yourself, in your business? You know, I think it's important as a consultant you do have a monthly payment for a while as you start your business. Now here's the perfect world. Not everyone happens in the perfect world, and we got to fix things sometimes. The perfect world is a new consultant gets her inventory, gets a 0% card, right? She pays on that monthly throughout the year. She pays a little bit extra towards it if she wants to. At the end of her first year, her tax refund, she asked her accountant the difference in her tax refund because of Mary Kay. It's usually in a couple $1,000s if she, number one, kept good records, and number two, used a Mary Kay tax accountant expert. And usually that extra $1,000, $2,000 will pay off the rest of her inventory. So after a year, it's 100% paid for. Now, if a consultant did not do that, and she kept just paying her monthly payment, and she spent all that tax refund, well, guess what? That balance on the Mary Kay card is now her vacation, not her Mary Kay product, because she used that extra tax money to go on vacation or to go shopping or whatever else, and that's the balance that's on the card. It's not Mary Kay. And so it's learning how to look at your business from that right perspective, you know, but having that monthly payment. And let's talk about, you know, this is something I do with new consultants. Here are 8 places that you can find money to help you get your product in stock. And this is what I go over with new consultants. And for seasoned consultants, you got to hear it again because it is important that you have product in stock. It gives you confidence. It gives you boldness. It gives you loyalty with your customers. You know, I had someone this week, a brand new customer that texted me off of my website. She was in town visiting family, and I need this, this, and this. She came by and picked it up. If I didn't have it, I would have lost that customer. And I booked her for a facial, and 2 days later, and she bought a whole roll-up bag, right? So that would have been $400 in sales I wouldn't have gotten if I hadn't had the product in stock to begin with. You know, and that happens time and time and time and time again. You know, and I know, I've been there. I started with a 600 order as a broke college student, thought it was $1 million, and then realized it wasn't, and it was nearly enough, and I went back. And like I said, there have been times I've had to go back. And so here's 8 places. If you, I promise, you work hard enough, you can find a way between one of these options to get your product in stock. You know, number one is you borrow from yourself. Number one way that you get money to get your product to a full store. Number one, borrow from yourself. Pull money out of savings. Home equity loan. Loan against your retirement account. I have a lot of girls that do it, you know, loan against their, what's it called? 401k. You know, loan against a savings account or a CD at the bank or a tax refund. If you still have that tax refund, that's the best investment you can make with it. But you borrow from yourself somehow, somewhere. Number 2, a 0% interest credit card. There's several different options. There's the Mary Kay card online. For those of you that are within certain states, we can do the Fifth Third card or the U.S. Bank. And I'll post some of those options in the Catalyst group for our long distance girls as well. Number 3, a credit union. Credit unions, if you're a member of a credit union or someone in your family is, a lot of times they're much easier to get a small loan from. They're a quicker turnaround and they have good interest rates. So number 3 is a credit union. Number 4 is a bank loan. Loan from a bank. You'll probably need collateral of some kind, a secured loan. Maybe you borrow against your car if you own your car, or you borrow against something else significant. Stacey James talked about borrowing against her grandmother's CD that the grandmother had at the bank, and they used that as a collateral to secure the loan, okay? So number 4 is a bank loan of some kind. Number 5 is a credit card with interest. But you want it to make sure it's only Mary Kay on that card, right? So that you get the tax write-off for that interest. Number 6, sell something big. Y'all got stuff that's sitting in your garage. You got TV, motorcycle, whatever, right? Sell something big. I heard one of the nationals was telling a story about one of her consultants that really needed to get inventory, and she didn't have any other way to do it. And so she had her husband's motorcycle, which he never rode, was never going to use, but he would never sell it, okay? So she said, I'm going to go take the motorcycle, the deed, or the title for it, and I'm going to use that as collateral to get a secured loan from the bank. He'll never know, because he won't ever sell this motorcycle. So she went to the bank, gave him the title, got a loan for her $1,800 wholesale order, because that's what she needed to get her up to a full store. And, then the bank keeps the title on hold until the loan's paid off. That's what they do. And so then her husband, like a month or two later, decided he wanted to sell the motorcycle, and he was looking for the title. And she couldn't find it, right? So she spent some time, she called her national, said, I got to sell this stuff really fast so that I can pay off this loan. I can go get that title back from the bank, right? And so it took her about a week, and I'll tell you what, she had a $1,000 week, and she went and found the title to give to her husband, all right? That's motivated. You find a way. That's how important inventory is. I'm not suggesting you go behind your husband's back and do those things. I'm not saying that, but you find a way because it is important. So you can sell something big. Gold is really valuable right now. So y'all got some gold jewelry you're not wearing. It can turn into some great money. Number 7, borrow from someone who loves you. A friend, family member, someone who loves you. Borrow from someone else. Number 8 is a high-rate interest finance company. There's lots of different ones out there. They're all over the street corners. Basically you're taking a pay stub, and it's going to be like 20 or 30% interest. So guess what? You're going to pay it off really fast, okay? But again, that interest is a tax write-off, and it's for people that don't have very good credit or that don't have established and can't get something anywhere else. That's why it's at the bottom of the list. So those are 8 ways. If you're motivated enough, you find a way. Borrow from self, 0% card, credit union, bank loan, credit card with interest, sell something, borrow from someone who loves you, and a high-rate interest finance company. So whatever that takes, I encourage you to find a way to get your products, because it gives you more confidence, immediately. When you try to do this without product in stock, you are frustrated a lot. You lose customers, you lose business, and I would say that, out of people that end up leaving Mary Kay, the majority of them are because they don't have product. It is far fewer percentage those that get product that decide to leave. It is a much higher number of those that don't have product that choose to not stay in the business because it takes too much time. It's too time consuming, right? You're not making money. You're frustrated. And so getting product in stock, if you want to boost your confidence, that is the next most important thing to do. And if you're listening to this, I know you really want to grow your business and you're really serious about moving to the next level in your business, you find a way to get product in stock. At least a star level, preferably Emerald or Pearl level. That you're really wanting to, if you're wanting to work at that 30 faces a month and head into a free car, we got to have that product in stock because that's going to equip you for success. Your focus is always the next step on the Mary Kay career path. Okay, so once you take your paper, take a blank piece of paper, and draw a line from the bottom left corner to the top right corner. Okay, diagonally across your paper. Bottom left corner to the top right corner on your piece of paper. So blank piece of paper, draw a line from the bottom left to the top right. Just draw a diagonal line across your paper. Okay? On this bottom left, I want you to write consultant. Okay, that's where everyone starts, right here. Everyone starts at the consultant level. And the top right level is NSD, right? National Sales Director. And there's a few levels after of national too, but we're going to start with the national, okay? Consultant, National Sales Director. And we have a lot of things. We have Star Consultant, and there's cars, and there's prizes, and your Power Start, and there's all kinds of fun promotions and events and things that you can earn at Mary Kay. But you want to always know, what is my next step on the Mary Kay career path? So if you've been in Mary Kay for a little while, and you are a senior consultant, I want you to, after consultant, go up and do a little hash mark, write senior consultant, and write the approximate date that you think you became a senior consultant. You know, you can take a really good guess. I mean, I know if it was within your first couple months in the business, or if it was like a year after you started. You know, when you got your first recruit, when did you get your first team member? Whether they're still with you or not, it doesn't matter, okay? But just kind of write, you know, when you think you moved up to senior consultant. And then the next one, you're going to go up a little further, do a hash mark, and write red jacket. When did you get your third team member come in red jacket? If you didn't, if you're not there yet, then that's your focus, right? If you're a consultant and you don't have your first girl yet, then that's your focus, okay? And so as you go up this path, you know, I want you to go up to the point where you are now and kind of just write the little dates of where you think you became as you progressed. And then you go, okay, my next step is blank, right? Next step is team leader, or sales future director, or the DIQ. And then you write what date your goal date is going to be to get to that level. There's this from section 2 called Steps to Success. I don't know if I showed this to y'all last week, but this goes through, this is a good recruiting tool because it goes through the career path. Okay, so you can order these on section 2, the Steps to Success. It goes through the whole career path. And then on the back, of course, it has the cars also. There's also a handout that I gave you all called Steps to Success that goes through the career path. You know, and this is something I really, really, really want you all to know is your next step. So anytime that you're asked what is your goal, it should be whatever the next level is on the career path. Everything I'm doing, faces, parties, Power Start, Star Consultant, is to get me to the next level on the career path, okay? Because what happens if we're not focused on that next level, then we can kind of get stuck at one level. And then we just stay there. So it's always knowing what is my next best step, is the next level on the career path. And so here's where it goes through your benefits and your team, you know, how many team members, you know, senior consultant 1 or 2, red jacket 3 or 4, team leader is 5, future director is 8, DIQ is 10, earning your car as a grand achiever is 14, and then your sales director is 24, okay? So I want you to write down what is your next step, that's your goal, and what is the date that you're going to get there. You know, I talked with a consultant this week, and she talked about, you know, the goal doesn't change, just sometimes the date changes. And that happens sometimes, right? Sometimes the date changes, but the goal doesn't change. So it's always focused on your next step on the career path. And the prize trail and the money trail and the event trail and all those things that you're doing are going to take you to that next best step if you're focused on it. You know, I read something in a book years ago by John Maxwell where he talked about focus. And you know, if you heard me speak, I always give this example because I'm visual and I like visual. And he talks about when you go to the circus and the lion tamers are in there with the lions and the tigers, right? And all they have is a stool, you know? And you think, well, what good is that really going to do you against a big old tiger? Good luck with that, Betty. But if you watch them, they take that stool and they'll hold it upside down so that like the 4 corners of the 4 legs are pointing at the lion or the tiger. And what happens is, in this massive animal, that stool, they try to focus on all 4 legs. And they can't. And it paralyzes them. Physically and mentally paralyzes the lion. So if you ever go to the jungle, just take a stool with you, all right? And you'll be safe. But literally, they hold that stool up. And that's where there's 4 corners. And he tries to look at all 4 of them at the same time. And it totally shuts him down. And he's paralyzed, and the trainer is safe. But that's what happens to us. We try to focus on 4 different things at once, we do nothing. We get paralyzed. And so your number one focus as you wake up each day is, what is my next step on the career path? And then what am I doing to get me there, but what is my next step on the career path? That's what I'm focused on. You know, yes, we do faces, we hold parties, we do those things to support that, but the focus is one thing, and it's moving up the career path. Next step, the next step, the next step. You if you're not sure if you want to be a director yet, that's okay. Let's get you to senior consultant, and let's go to red jacket and learn along the way, and then you can make the decision to move forward. So everyone knows you're following your track. I want you to put this up somewhere that you're looking at it, because chances are if you've moved at all from senior to red or whatever, it's probably been a little while, or you haven't moved at all and we're still back to consultant, okay? So it's focusing on the right thing. Now what takes us to that next level on the career path are parties, right? Party your way to the top of Mary Kay. This is your parties. The means to every end in Mary Kay is the perfect party. The means to every end in Mary Kay is the perfect party. The means to every end in Mary Kay is the perfect party. The skincare party. You can have anything you want if you're willing to pay the price, right? This is the price tag. This is the price. This is the cost that you have to pay to become a senior consultant, a star team builder, a team leader, whatever that looks like, all right? This is what that looks like. You hear us say that Mary Kay is not magical, it's mathematical. Well, actually, Mary Kay is mathematical and magical, because the magic is in the math. So if you know the math, then you can take advantage of the magic. Your magic is full circle parties. Full circle parties means that you're getting bookings, you're selling sets, and you're sharing the dream. Full circle, you're booking, you're selling, and you're team building, all at the same time. If you only do one, you're going to have a flat tire, because the circle can't go with only one little spoke in it, right? You have all the pieces, and that's as it rolls, and that's as it grows. So here's the Mary Kay perfect party, what I would describe the Mary Kay perfect party, and this again is very conservative. At a perfect party, you get 2 parties booked. It's 2 plus 2 plus 2, because I like it's easy to remember. So 2 parties booked, 2 sharing appointments booked, and 200 in sales. Now your sales are going to be higher than that, but we're not focusing on them, right? That's going to happen no matter what. But your 2 bookings and your 2 sharing appointments won't happen if you don't focus on them. You don't look for them. So 2 parties booked, 2 sharing appointments, 200 in sales, all right? That is a full circle party. Now, obviously, 3 and 3 and 3 would be even better, and 4 and 4 and 4 would be even better, okay? We start where you are. Now, here's the other numbers that you want to know is 1 and 4 that you share the business opportunity will probably join your team, right? 1 out of 4. So 1 out of 4 that you share with will sign. So if you hold 2 parties and you book 2 sharing appointments at each of them, that's 4 sharing appointments, right? 4 sharing appointments is probably 1 team member. So however many recruits that you need to move to the next step on that career path, you multiply that times 2, and that's how many parties, full circle parties, that you need to hold to add that many team members. So if you need 1 more team member, okay, to move up, if you're a consultant and you don't have any recruits yet, you need 1 team member to move up to senior consultant, we're going to hold 2 parties. Because of those 2 parties, you're going to book 4 sharing appointments. You're going to hold those 4 sharing appointments, you're going to have 1 new team member, right? That's your formula. So whatever, if you need 2 new team members to go from maybe star team builder to team leader, you need 2 new team members, that's 4 parties. So how quickly are you going to hold those 4 parties? And you can do 1 a month for 4 months, or you can do all 4 next week, right? You decide what that looks like. That's the price that you can pay. So that makes it really easy. You know, and then of course we know that we're going to book twice as many that we want to hold, right? So if the price that we need to pay is 4 parties, how many are we going to book? 8, right? That's the other key in there. So this gives you the little price tag, you know, to be a senior consultant, to be a star team builder, to be a great achiever. To earn a free car, you are 28 parties away from a free car. Now, do you want to hold those 28 parties over the course of 3 years or 3 months? How quickly do you want to hold those 28 parties? You're going to book 56 to hold the 28, okay? But it's the consistency. There's power in the consistency of this, just like I talked about a couple weeks ago. You know, doing that bolder level of activity at least month after month after month after month is going to put you in that place. All right, those 30 faces, that's ideally 5 parties of 6 people at each one, okay? So you keep doing those parties, and you have 4 people at the parties, and you're going to do more of those. And then a sales director is 48 parties. But the good news is once you've done your first 20, then the next 28, to get to 48, you and your 10 team members do together. So 10, the magic is 10, getting to 10 and in. Once you get to 10, you're in, you get to go into DIQ, right? And then that's where you all grow together into that sales director position. So it's all about the parties. So I will know each day what is my next level on the career path and how many parties am I booking today to get me there. That's what you think about. And you put things in place that are going to help you at those parties get those full circle results. So, just every part of the party is like a chain that has different links, and wherever your weak link is something that you want to throw money at and strengthen. And I saw this idea. I posted it into the Facebook group. I've shared it on Voxer. This is something that I heard in the past. I hadn't really ever run with it. And so I just spent the weekend with my offspring, Jessica Williams, and she shared that she'd been doing this for several months. And so we brainstormed, and I kind of made a few tweaks to it. But playing a game. You get people to do stuff by playing a game with them, right? That's why you play the Desert Island game at your parties. And part of your homework is to watch the video with my party and practice that Desert Island game. And I uploaded the information, and those of you that work with me locally, you're already very familiar with that, but some long distance girls may not be, and so it's really mastering that Desert Island game. You play a game, that's how you get lots of referrals at a party, okay? You get bookings at a party also by playing a game, and this is a fun deal or no deal game. And I just made these little envelopes. I'm going to show them to you guys. I found these cute envelopes at Hobby Lobby. I had made a label to stick on it. I posted all this to the Facebook group. You could print it off on paper and you could stick it on there as well. But I wanted cute envelopes, and I keep them in like a little, like one of the mailer envelopes, so they stay looking nice, so they don't get all like bent up in my bag. And inside I have 2 cards. And so you're just going to go play deal or no deal, and you're going to go around to each person at the party and say, we're going to play a game. Who loves to play a game? Who's competitive? Yay. Okay. So each person in the party, so what you get to do is I have these envelopes, and I have really awesome, some of our most expensive products in these envelopes, our best prizes in these envelopes. And all of you are going to get to have a second appointment with me where we're going to check up your products, see how you like everything, do your custom color makeover. You can have it with just me and you, which is kind of boring, or you can have it with some girlfriends and get free stuff, just like our hostess Susie did, okay? And if you like free stuff and you think you might be able to find at least 3 girlfriends, that's all it takes, three friends. Y'all, hopefully y'all have 3 friends, okay? 3 friends that are not here at the table, someone different, but 3 girlfriends, and then you get this bonus gift that's inside this envelope, in addition to your hostess credit. So in addition to your hostess credit, you can get this gift that's in this envelope when we hold it on the date that we book. So I'm going to come around and I'm just going to ask you a question. Deal or no deal? No deal. If you answer no deal, then I know that you don't like any free stuff and you don't have enough friends. And so we're just going to do your appointment with me and you. Okay, that's all right. I still love you. We'll still have to get together. If you say deal, that means you like free stuff and you have some friends that you're going to get to be there and you want to get the bonus gift inside. And we get to pick an envelope, and we'll all get to celebrate with which one you get, okay? Right, so I'm going to pick the most excited person. I'm going to go to her, say, deal or no deal. Spread out the envelopes. Now, you want to try to pick someone you think is going to say yes, right? And she's going to say, deal, yay! We all clap and cheer and celebrate, okay? And you go around the table, and they pick it out. And so inside are 2 cards that say the same thing. And I made a Voxer message about this, too, and posted it. But the same thing that says professional brush set, okay? She gets professional brush set. She gets $75 in product for $35 when she has 3 friends there, and then she books it on the date. So when she holds it on the date that we book, she gets this brush set free in addition to the hostess credit of $75 for $35. So she's going to come after. I'm going to do this at the very end of the party, and then we'll go straight into the individual consultations. And so she brings this with her to the individual consultation. We pick a date between our calendars. She writes the date on one, she keeps it. I write the date on another, and I keep it. And then this is what I keep in my date book, where I keep track of on the back of here that I've coached her, that I sent her a thank you note, that I got her guest list, that I've sent invitations. I keep track. This is my little tracker to track all the things that I did with her. Now, what I've added to my hostess plan is 75 for $35 when they have 3 friends. Okay, 3 friends, 75 for $35. So 40 free when you share me with 3. Now, I also have on there, just like maybe down here at the bottom, extra 25 with 5. And what that means is if she has 5 friends, then she gets $100 for $35. All right? She gets 5 people there. I really want 5 people there, okay? So now the great news about 75 for $35 is even $75 and product costs you $37.50. She's paying you $35. You're out $2. So it doesn't matter if people buy 0. The most you can lose is $2.50, right? If she has 5 people there, and I give her $100 for $35, that's still only costing me $15, right? So I can afford $15. She gets 5 people there. So you want to have a higher level, not just have her shoot for 3, you want to have her shoot for 5. And so I just write that, I'm like, just for you, for this extra, write 25 more free for 5. And that means that she gets $100 for $35. She might have 100 for 35, okay? So that's a really easy bonus booking, and this is a really fun game to get people excited about booking the appointment. And I have in here the cleansing brush, the brush set, the roll-up bag, and the set of cosmetic bags from section 2. And I recommend having those all in the middle of the table so they can see them throughout the party. You're talking about the cleansing brush, you're talking about the brush set, of course you're romancing the roll-up bag, you know, all of those things, okay? And so they get to pick one, they get that as their bonus. The other thing that I added to my hostess plan, because I just wanted to keep it super simple, is I give her half back free for outside orders. So whether she sells $50 in outside orders or $20 in outside orders or $100 in outside orders, whatever it is, she gets half back free for outside orders. So that way, even if her friend just wants a foundation for $20, I'll still give her $10 in product for that, right? Because I mean, $20, I profit 10. I'm basically splitting my profit with her. For me to give her $10 in free product costs me 5. So how much work did I have to do for outside orders? 0. So if anyone asks you, you know, what do I get for holding the party? Well, you have 3 friends there, you get 75 for 35. Regardless of sales, doesn't matter if anyone buys a single thing. You know, I like to take that pressure off, okay? So it does not matter, she gets that 75 for 35. You know, if she has 5 people there, over 18, that don't have a Mary Kay consultant, okay, I put that clarification. That's why people sit at this table right here to can't count because, you know, it has to be new people. Then she gets the 100 for 35. It's still the most it can cost me is $15, okay, the most. Now, you know, this is something that you're going to just do at your party. Some days it's going to work really great, and some days you might have a group that's not that excited. You know, that's okay, right? It doesn't mean that something doesn't work. You know, the reason that we have to look at our business from the big picture, right? Not just one party. I had a party a week ago that was terrible. There was 4 people there. One girl was like 45 minutes late. One girl wouldn't try it on her face. You know, she did the back of her hand. So it left like one person really that was a strong prospect and the hostess. And you know, I think I sold like $50. Okay, not including they did buy some stuff out of my clearance basket. That was my discontinued things I want to get away, but I sold those like at a discount, so I didn't really make any money. So I think I sold $50. Well, I did give the hostess the 75 for 35. Okay, because she had 3 friends there. So it cost me $2.50, but I still profited, right? My profit was still $25 on 50. I still made over $20 an hour, okay, because I wasn't there that long. And the one girl that I really went there, that I want to recruit to my team, she really, really wanted the satin hands, and she didn't get it because she couldn't afford it, and she wouldn't book a party because she's moving and, you know, all this kind of stuff. And so I Facebooked her last night. She bought the satin lips, and I said, I know that you really, really wanted that satin hands, and I loved having you, and, you know, I hope you're enjoying your satin lips, so how about I'll make you a deal? If I could borrow you for 30 minutes for coffee, I'll give you the satin hand set for free. All right? Now, she was a consultant like several years ago, probably 10 years ago or something, and so, but I want to get back in front of her because I want to have her on my team. So it was worth it to me because I knew she would do it for a free satin hand set. She might have done it for a half-price satin hand set, but I wanted to make sure I got that appointment with her, okay? So I'm willing to give a free satin hand set to get a sharing appointment with her tonight at 8:45 tonight so that it counts for May, right? So I said, as long as we can do it in the next 24 hours, you know, here's what I'll give you, and I'll come to your house, and I sent her a video to watch, and we're going to meet tonight and talk. So that's where you have to be willing to think bigger and think beyond, right? And, you know, it's okay to spend a little bit. I had another situation this week where I had a girl I just mentioned to you. She texted me from, she found me online on my website and said, hey, I'm in town visiting my parents. I don't live here, but I'm out of town, and I got sunburn. And I know the Mary Kay has really good stuff for sunburn. And I need some of that, you know, extra Millie night cream. And so, you know, of course, she came by, she picked it up. I didn't get to meet her. But then I followed up with her and said, hey, while you're in town, let's get together. I'd love to do a facial makeover with you because it's been a while. So anytime you have a new customer, you're always going back, you want to try to get in front of them, right, to share the product. And so she said, oh, that sounds fun. So we booked an appointment. She came to my house yesterday, And she shared with me, she said, I used to sell Mary Kay a long time ago, used the products, really liked them. She said, but I have an allergy to an ingredient called glycerin. And she said, I have such a hard time finding products because it's in all the cosmetics and it's all the moisturizers. So here's what I want y'all to know is I sat there with my iPad, I pulled up the product central section of the Mary Kay, I clicked on the ingredients, and I could look and clicked on glycerin, and it had a really long list of products. There are products that had it in there. And so as we went through each step, we got to the cleanser, and I would go search each cleanser, and we could click on the cleanser and click on ingredients, and it would tell me the ingredient list. And if it was like down the list, like number 6 or 7, she said I usually don't have an issue. So if it's number 1 and 2, it's a problem, but down the list. And so we could go through product by product, the cleanser, the day solution, the microdermabrasion, the moisturizer. She couldn't get that at any store, right? She can't. That's what you get to be able to do with people. And so we sat there with the iPad, and thank goodness the tools that Mary Kay gives us, and so we could sit there and go item by item and let her pick out the products. Of course, she, bought the colors. She loved everything, and she bought a Queen Diva bag, $350. Now that happened because 1, I had extra Melanie night cream in stock earlier in the week when she needed it and texted me out of the blue. And number 2, she is only in town until the next day. So because she asked me every time, I really like this. Do you have it in stock? Oh, I really, really like this. Do you have this in stock? Are you going to have this? And I had everything. That's why she bought $350. And of course, she's going to be my new team member too because I'm going to recruit her, right? So, but how that comes back to having the product in stock and using the tools that Mary Kay gives us. That's where you all have such a great opportunity with your customers. To sit down with them and offer that. We had a debut with a new consultant last week. There was a girl that has celiac disease and is allergic to any of the wheat products and can't use anything. Do you know there's a whole section on our product knowledge that talks about that? That lists all the different ingredients that possibly can be an issue for people with that, and then tells us all the different products, and you can cross-check that ingredient list from our product list and look at the ingredient. Like, Mary Kay's done all this work for us that makes it so easy. So just take advantage of those tools that are available. So I'm really excited for y'all to try this Deal or No Deal game because this is going to be fun. And I'm actually going to play it. I have a business debut this afternoon for a new consultant. We're going to play it at her business debut too. So something you can play at any event that you're doing, and it makes it just really more fun and exciting. So we talked about our parties. Now here's what you want to think about at your parties. Because I think oftentimes, especially as a new consultant, we go into our parties, we're looking for sales. We're like, I just bought all this inventory, I got to make some money, I got to get some sales. But here's your order of importance of what you want from a party. So when you're going into a party, it's important to know in advance what you're looking for. Your number 1 priority at a party, this is what you're looking for. Number 1, you're looking for leaders. Who is a leader? This lady that was at that party I went to that I gave her the free sign hit, she was a leader. She dominated the conversation. She was fun. She was energetic. She was exciting. If I had an emergency and had to leave, I would have left her in charge of the party because they would have had fun. Whether they learned anything or not, she would have let them. They had a good time, all right? So who at the party, number 1, is a leader? Because she's someone that could be a leader in our company if she's already a leader in life. So, if you look around the table and think, okay, if I had to leave an emergency, who would I leave in charge? Maybe it's the hostess. Maybe it's one of her guests. But who would you leave in charge? So number 1 in a party, you're looking for who's a leader. Number 2, you're looking for your next team members. So who would I want to work with? Who do I like? Who do I think would be great in Mary Kay? So I'm looking for my next team members. Number 3, you're looking for referrals. Referrals lead you to lots of great places. So you're looking for referrals, okay? You're playing the desert island game. If you leave a party without referrals, you're leaving a whole lot of money on the table. Number 4, you're looking for bookings. Who are my next hostesses going to be? Who's going to host my next parties? Who am I going to start with for the Deal or No Deal game when I get to it? Okay, so who am I watching for that? And number 5, priority or sales. Bottom of the list. Because guess what? If you can do everything wrong, you're still going to sell stuff. Okay? You cannot be focused on sales at all and you'll still make sales. But if you're not focused on referrals and bookings and team members, they don't happen by themselves. So knowing when you go into a party, I want you to put this list somewhere that you're looking at it every time you walk into a party to know this is what I'm looking for. And then as you finish the party and you look at the profile cards, and this is where your communication with your director is important. I want you to think about putting each guest profile card in a category. Number 1, is she a leader? Number 2, is she a team member? So I'm going to book a sharing appointment with her. Number 3, is she a referral source? Someone that's very well connected that can introduce me to a lot of people. Number 4, is she going to be one of my next hostesses? Or number 5, is she going to be a skincare customer that's going to purchase products from me? Okay? So put each person into that category in your head so you know what is my next step with her. My next step with her is focusing on her party. My next step is booking a sharing appointment with her. My next step is getting her to a Mary Kay event this week. My next step is, focusing on just doing a follow-up appointment with her because she's just going to be a customer and that's all she wants to be right now. Okay? So putting people in those different categories. And that's why on your monthly tracking sheet under your hostesses, I want to know when you have a party, how many bookings did you get? How many referrals did you get? How many basic skincare sets did you sell? Because that's your customers. And then the total sales are last. It's the last thing I'm curious about at a party. All right? It's exciting. It's fun. It's immediate gratification. But you want long-term success. Because all those other 4 are going to pay you for the future. Number 5, the sales. That pays you for today. That's great. Money for today is good. How about money for today and money for tomorrow? Right? Long-term sales. Long-term success and benefits is what's going to come when you have that mindset going to there. One of your homework is I recorded a video of my skincare class, and if you've just recently watched it, then that's great. But there's a video of it. Matt did a great job. I focused on how I pack for my parties. I know it is far, far from perfect. All right, y'all can probably look at that and go, man, good lands, I could do a better party than that. But I purposely did not give you notes because I want you to watch it and take your own notes. Okay, I want you to watch it and write down, this is the order that she did things in. This is a cute little story that she told. This is a fun little name of a product. And then you take things that are that you're going to learn from other places and you make your own. Your Mary Kay party should be your own. But there's a structure, there's a foundation, there's some basic things that you do in a certain order. Questions that you ask, doing half the face. Talking about the skincare, focusing on the skincare, doing just basic color. There's, the referral game, the bookings game. There's some of those things that are core parts of your party, and then you can fill in the other fun parts. So part of your homework is to go on there to watch those videos. If you haven't already, if your director has her class recorded, then definitely watch hers or listen to it. I also posted it on there, a place where you can get the CDs of those people as well. I was going to spend a little bit of time going over the DISC personality styles with y'all too. I'm going to skip that and we're going to come back to it because for some reason all those handouts didn't print. So y'all got them. They're on the catalyst. Just hold on because we'll use them next time. We're going to come back to it. But just learning about the different personality styles, and we're going to save that for next time. But we are going to talk about team building as we're talking about, right, your parties that you're holding, your sharing appointments that you're doing. Many of you are already doing sharing appointments. As a new consultant, you're doing sharing appointments. And so one of the tools that you're going to become very closely acquainted with is your recruiting layering sheet. Recruiting layering sheet. And there's 2 pages. One's numbered 1 through 15 and one's numbered 16 through 30. But just like you're going to have your monthly tracking sheet, right? You're going to have your bubble sheet, which I don't have one up here, but your bubble sheet, and you have your recruiting layering sheet. Like, those are the 3 things that I always want to see. When I sit down with a consultant, we're going to have a power, we're going to have a brainstorming session, I want to see those things. In addition to her spiral notebook that has her contact list and her master to-dos, okay? But these are the tools. And you have to have them printed out and have them in a folder, have it somewhere that you're tracking it. Now, I've worked with consultants that don't like to use piece of paper. They just make this sheet in a spiral notebook. That's fine. You don't have to use this certain form, okay? As long as you're tracking this. But recruiting is a layering process. Keep in mind, the average person makes a decision to join a Mary Kay business after probably 4 layers. That's about the average. If you joined the first time you heard about Mary Kay, you're out of the norm. If it took you 10 times, you're out of the norm. Okay? But our filter is if we think that everyone should do it the way we do it, then we find ourselves getting frustrated because it's not happening like that. And so we have to understand the layering sheet. And so right now, part of your homework is going to be to take this layering sheet, and you should have pages and pages of these, even at the very beginning. Because you're going to look at your profile cards from every party that you did, or even your contact list of people that you're going to book, and you're going to go ahead and put her on this list. If you know that you want to have her on her team, does she have the leadership qualities that I'm looking for? Does she have integrity? Is she someone that I'd like to work with, that I think would represent our company well? Her name goes on this sheet. And then we start tracking. And we have the different layers. Is she on the product? Has she been a hostess? Did she attend a guest event or a unit meeting? Have I given her a recruiting packet of information? Has she listened to a CD? Has she watched a video on the website? Or did she call in a hotline number? Did we hold a sharing appointment? And then it's her interest level on a scale of 1 to 10. I've had people that it took them 10 years on a layering sheet before they finally made the decision. Okay? I've had people that I never even had time to write their name on the layering sheet and then they signed up. Okay? And then there's everyone in between there. But this is so important because I've been the person that I've been guilty of, like, I interviewed someone 6 months ago and then she didn't sign up right then for whatever reason and I forget about her. And I move on to someone else. And then guess what? Sometimes she shows up in a meeting as someone else's recruit. Because I planted the seed, but I didn't water it, and I didn't fertilize it, and I didn't really stay in close contact with her, and that's what happens. So this layering sheet is where you're always looking at, as you're wanting to build your team, you're moving up the career path, you're looking at people on the sheet and go, okay, what is another layer? She's not quite there yet. She's really close. What's another layer that I can do with her? What's another thing that I can take her to? Like, I know she wants to do this, and she's really close to it, but she's just, for whatever reason, not making that decision. What's another layer that she can have? You know, she might come to multiple guest events. You know, she might watch multiple videos. You know, she might have some different options on there. So, but looking at that layering sheet and putting her on here. You know, if I have a girl from that skincare class, I put her on this list. I'm like, I like you. I want to hang out with you. I want to have you on my team. She just doesn't know it yet, right? That's who I'm always looking for. You know, I hold appointments personally to find the leaders, to find the team members. You know, I'm going to have some customers in that customer base, but my focus is looking for those women that are leaders and they're leadership minded. And that's why I hold the parties and I hold the facials to find those people. So part of that homework is really working through the layering sheet. You know, that's when we have a guest event or I announce that we're going to do a marketing call. You're not going, oh, who should I invite? It's on here. This is who you should invite. This is who you should, add to here. So you always have this that you're looking at in your background, and it's really easy to add people from your faces sheet onto your layering sheet, right? You know, not everyone off of your faces is going to go on your layering sheet because some people just need to stay a customer, okay? But there's definitely plenty of people that we just forget about. You know, team building, when you add someone to your team, that pays you long term, okay? Long term. When you sell a product, you add a customer, that pays you short term. You want to have both. Right? To be able to build a consistent, significant income, you want to have both sides that you're making money from, both the short term and the long term. The other part of your homework that we're going to cover, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it because I gave you all part of your assignment, is to go listen to the 4-Hour Plan by National Sales Director Tammy Craig. The 4-Hour Plan. Now, what this means is there are 4 key areas of your business. Just kind of like we talked about last year, we went into the money management, the time management, the skill management, attitude management, right? These are the 4, main areas of your business that you're going to spend your time. And that is booking, coaching the appointments that you've already booked, selling to your customers, and team building. You know, I would put booking first, coaching second, team building third, and selling last. But those are your 4 areas. And so what Tammy, and she took the time to come up with all the numbers that are phenomenal for how this works. And the key is consistency. Y'all say that? The key is consistency. The key is consistency. The key is consistency. Okay? So I think there's 2 sheets for the 4-Hour Plan. And so what she has done is she ran the numbers. What if 4 hours a day you spend an hour booking, an hour coaching, an hour team building, and an hour selling? Okay? There's 2 sheets of this. Yeah, there's 2. There's one that's a 4-hour plan and then one that kind of explains it. And then I posted in the Facebook group, there's also a version of this that's a 2-hour plan that allots like 30-minute time slots for each thing. Oh, this one has a 30-minute time slots. So you're going to figure out what that looks like. Am I going to spend 4 hours a day? Am I going to spend 4 hours 2 days a week? Am I going to spend 2 hours where I do 30 minutes in each of those categories, 1 day a week, 2 days a week, 3 days a week? You decide what that looks like, okay? But the power is the focus. Remember we talked about focus, right? Focusing your next step on the career path. The focus is, I don't really like booking, but I know that it's something I have to do, right? So if I set my little timer or I put my timer on the phone and I set it for, 30 minutes, and I just have to do booking for 30 minutes, and then I can go do something fun that I like to do, like talk to my consultants, then I get to the reward of that. And so, personally, I don't like to sit for a whole hour at a time and just book. Like, I got to break it up, okay? So I kind of like to do what I call a power hour, where I do 15 minutes of booking and see how many I can get in 15 minutes, and then I do 15 minutes of coaching and 15 minutes of selling, customer service, and 15 minutes of team building. So that's kind of a power hour. You do 15 in each one. Now my offspring Tamara, she's a master booker, and she'll sit there and spend 4 hours of straight booking. And she's awesome at it, and she loves doing it, and she's great at it, and that works for her. So you have to do what works for you, but the key is that you get all 4 in your schedule on a regular basis. And so when you make that weekly plan sheet like we did last week, and you're blocking out, okay, these are my Mary Kay hours, what do I do during those hours? I know I'm supposed to hold appointments, but what if I don't have an appointment in that hour? What am I to do? You're going to do with these categories: book, coach, team build, or sell product, okay? And with the other thing that I liked that I heard her talk about, during the booking time, is it could be text booking. It could be private messaging on a Facebook message, or it could be picking up the phone and calling. It should be a combination of all of those in your booking and your coaching and your team building, all right? So it doesn't have to be just a 1 hour on the phone. Like, for some people, they would rather be shocked than have to spend 1 hour calling people, okay? So that's why you just break it up into those few minutes, and then sometimes it's a text, and sometimes it's a Facebook message, and sometimes it's a phone call. But that's where you have to have your spiral notebook, where you have your contact list that you're working through, and you know who those people are. You have your layering sheet, right, that you're following up and doing more layers with those people for team building. You have your hostesses written down on your hostess sheet that you're coaching her through those things. That's where you have your little cards from me's, that you know what you need to do with your hostess. But it's just setting aside the time for that. And I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it because Tammy Craig explains it, and she runs the numbers, and y'all, it's a whole lot of money. It's a whole lot of money, okay? And that's why it's part of your homework to watch it, because she explains it so well. But it's just a matter of, will you do it? Will you do it? Will you do it consistently? Will you really set aside this much time for booking, coaching, selling, and team building? For all 4 of those areas, whether you do an hour in each one, 15 minutes each in one, 30 minutes in each one, but you need all 4, right? We can't just book or only sell. We have to do all 4, just like the full circle skincare class. We need all of those different pieces to make the wheel go, right? To make that run of all those pieces together. But the 4-hour plan is so powerful, and she has testimonial after testimonial of people who have had incredible success with it because they've done it consistently. And if you're not full-time Mary Kay, then it might look like 2 hours, 30 minutes in each category, once a week, okay? It might, and then of course your appointments are in addition to that. If you are saying, I want to take a quantum leap in my business, then it is 4 hours every day or 3 days a week at least, okay? Because that's what's going to take you to that next level. So it's really making the habits of those things and the disciplining yourself of this much time, this long in here, so that you're able to make sure that you are doing that consistently. All right, let's talk about our homework. Homework. Don't we all love homework? All right. Oh, before I do the homework, I'm gonna read y'all one thing. Oh, there's my DISC, but they didn't print the copies for y'all, so we'll cover that next time. And some of you may have heard this story, but we talked about the power of the skincare class, right? Power of the skincare class. Here's a story about a skincare class, and this skincare class is actually the reason that we're all here as a result of the skincare class, along with thousands and thousands of Mary Kay consultants. 33 years ago, now this was 6 years ago, so it's almost 40 years ago now. 40 years ago, there was a Mary Kay consultant in a small Minnesota town that was also a teacher. This teacher knew Mrs. Johnson, but she didn't have the nerve to call her because Mrs. Johnson lived in a very nice house and owned 2 Cadillacs. At that time, the teacher was living in a modest 2-bedroom house and was driving an old Volkswagen. The teacher was afraid to do a class for Mrs. Johnson, and for 6 weeks she put it off. Finally, the month that this teacher completed DIQ, October 1971, there you go, how long it was, she finally made that call. Desperate times call for desperate measures, right? You're like, I gotta finish DIQ, I'm gonna do this. I'm willing to step out of my comfort zone. Mrs. Johnson hosted a party. At that party, one person arrived late. So the teacher booked that late person for her own party. Okay, lesson number 1. The person who came in late, she booked her for her own party. That woman said to her, but I only have 2 friends. The politely persistent Mary Kay consultant, aka teacher, told her, well, why don't you have each one bring a friend? Great. The woman agreed. That party held, and each of those 2 friends brought a guest. There was 4 people at that party, right? Both of the guests, not the original 2 friends, the guests booked parties, okay? Because you're always getting bookings over your bookings. One of those parties, the teacher held, so it was a booking from Mrs. Johnson's booking, right? So Miss Johnson held the party, got a booking, and then a booking from that one. One party, she sold 7 basic skincare sets. Now, 1971, that was a whole lot, right? 7 basics at that party. The other party, though, started postponing. In fact, that party postponed 3 times before it finally held. Politely persistent. But at that party that she persisted for, the teacher, the DIQ, met one woman who was a shotgun shell packer. She worked in a factory. She became a consultant. That woman recruited her friend, who became a consultant, who was also a model. She also recruited a friend who ended up recruiting her sister. The sister was a homemaker and a mother of 4. That person recruited a nursing school classmate, and then mother of 2 that saved up. All of those people are now executive national or retired nationals in our company. And the result from those 5 women that joined as a result of that party, including the original DIQ, there's now over, at the time of this, it was like 40 nationals. Now that was 8 years ago, so it's probably double that now, including our national, senior national Jen Harris, and offspring national Deb Pike. So because she held a Mary Kay party and she got bookings from her party. Isn't it important to get bookings from your bookings? Yes. Okay? Untold millions of dollars that these women have made. They are record breakers in our company. They're some of the founders of our companies, Nancy Tejan, Anita Mallory, Garrett Rowe, Arlene Lenars, or some of those original people that were the team builders from that. But that's the importance of your party and mastering the ability to book from your bookings, right? So I know this class was a lot more of the meat and potatoes and going through some of those basic important things with y'all, but that's the importance of the skincare class. And I really, really also encourage all of you to be working towards wrapping up your STAR consultant goal, because we have 2 weeks left to wrap up our STAR consultant. And so really important that you want to be finishing that goal too. So let's pull out your homework and talk about our homework. Our Catalyst homework number 3. Now the first several I've built on the skills that we learned in the first 2 weeks, okay? So we're going to continue with your contact list, your spiral notebook, with your master to-do list, with your mental bath, your 6 most important things, and your IPAs. We're not going to stop doing those things, okay? We're going to keep doing those things. And your colored affirmations, the bubble sheet, the tracking sheet. I want to know what your goal is for June, for bold, bolder, or bodacious. And then number 6, our new assignment is to begin adding prospects to your recruiting layering sheet. Start working with recruiting layering sheet. Number 7, get to your local events, local trainings, local workshops, and most importantly, Mary Kay seminar. You know, and whenever you're listening to this CD or watching this recording, it's whatever the next event is. You know, seminars in the summer, we have a retreat in the fall, we have a career conference in the spring, you know, and then there's other smaller local events too. But it's always knowing what that next event is, the next big event that it's important for you to be a part of. Number 8 is to watch or listen to Tammy Craig's recording of the 4-hour plan and implement this into your schedule somehow, and at least once over the next 2 weeks, spend a total of 4 hours. Now, y'all can do this like multiple times over the next 2 weeks, okay? But your homework is to do at least once over the next total, spend a total of an hour on booking, coaching, selling, and team building. You can divide that into smaller increments, but I just want my assignment is to do it one time over 2 weeks. Now, y'all that are serious going to do a lot more than that, right? Okay? But the power again in this is the consistency. You know, so we'll do it really good for a couple days and then like don't do it for 2 weeks. You know, and then kind of do really good for one day and then don't do it for a week. Like that's not really where it's powerful. It's powerful when it's on a regular basis. So just at least once. And number 9, watching the skincare class videos and taking notes. The Deal or No Deal game, the Desert Island game. And I posted the links in there to those videos. I also posted all of these in the Facebook group as well. Listening to a National Sales Director, Julia Burnett's explaining on inventory, and how you break even, and your sweat equity with your inventory is really important. I love the way that she talks about it and explained it, and the thought process of your product and shelf. And then it's to talk through your current inventory with your sales director, and figure out, and evaluate, I got inventory to begin with. I didn't really manage my money real well. So, I kind of don't have much inventory, and I still have this, balance I need to pay off. Then we make a plan to fix that, okay? But, the first step is the awareness of where it is, and then we're going to move towards a solution towards it, So it's okay if things aren't really where you want them to be, you don't like them to be. I have been there. I have made my share of mistakes, all right? And you can move forward from it and figure out a way to get your products in stock. Now, keep in mind, today is the last day of May. And so if you're going to need product in the next week or two, you want to place your order for today, okay? Because you're going to get it a lot faster. We can place on-hold orders. It gives us a couple extra days. We have till Tuesday noon to clear on-hold orders, the payments. But it's always better to order at the end of the month versus the beginning of a new month, but especially the end of the year, because the company is so busy for May and June. It's going to be huge. And so I promise if you wait to the first week of June, it's going to take a lot longer to get your product. So you want to find a way to get your stuff ordered by tonight at midnight. And then your extra credit is that you can be a star consultant by June 15th, and you get to replace one of the above assignments for that. And then optional, and I'm going to leave this on here because even though we're going to talk about it next week, but there's a website for where you can take an online personality assessment. It's not a test. It's an assessment. And this is really where you learn a lot about yourself. And it's very interesting. And so there's the details on there. It's $30, $32. And it's a really great opportunity for you to grow. So it's really good. I want to see it cut off a little bit about the notebook. But our prize is this adorable Mary Kay 50th anniversary notepad cover. The notepad inside. So if you completed your Catalyst homework number 2, then make sure you contact your director, turn in whatever assignments you're supposed to turn into her as part of that homework, and she'll get your prize to you. If you're in my unit, then you need to email my assistant at rachelsoffice@gmail.com, and that way she can get your prize for you, okay? And then we'll keep working on our week 3. And we will be back here for our week 4, which I'm so excited for, in 2 weeks on June 14th. I get the privilege of representing you all next week. Get to go spend the weekend with Jen Harris at her home in Colorado. So I'm going to come back with some fun things to share with you all from that. So I'm really excited to get to share with you on June 14th. And I know that this is the most exciting time to be in your Mary Kay business. I mean, this is when everyone is going for big goals and big things. And so you want to decide, what am I really committed to making happen by June 30th? And so that your director knows that and she's on track with you, and what are you doing every single day to make that happen? We spent the last couple weeks really talking through a lot of the head stuff and the heart stuff. This week I wanted to kind of dive into some of the meat and potatoes and the basic skills of really getting good at your skincare class. How do you get good at something? By practicing it, right? By practicing it. I promise that first party will not be pretty. My first party was not pretty. I've had many not pretty parties even since then, okay? And that's what I want to hear y'all say too. I still have parties where people don't buy anything. I still do. I'm good. And it still happens, all right? So I have to give you hope that I don't just take that one party and go, well, man, forget that. This doesn't work. I don't play the deal or no deal game and no one takes a deal. I'm like, well, that didn't work, right? No. You have to give it time. You have to have the law of averages together. I had 4 people and sold $50, then I had one person sold $350. Guess what? It still averaged out to over $50 a face. Okay? It averages out. I did the same thing. I said the same stuff. So just know you're going to have those days that everything doesn't go according to plan. You're going to have the days where you spend 30 minutes booking and no one answers and no one responds and no one books with you. But you do it again the next day and the next day and the next day, and you will get the results. So if there's one thing I want you to take away from that, is knowing that consistency is the key to anywhere you want to be, to where you want to go, is being that consistency. And also, as we're tracking our year-end goals, make sure that you're looking at what you're on target for your courts of sales and courts of sharing too, and talk to your director about that so she can give you those options for your court of sales, court of sharing, and of course looking at the deadlines for seminar and everything like that that's coming up as well. But get excited about the skincare class that you're going to hold that might postpone 3 times, but could lead to 50 national sales directors, right? Lead you to becoming your Mary Kay millionaire. And really, really make sure you guys are spending time on that Mary Kay mental bath, of really booking affirmation training. I mean, I'm listening to training CDs every single day. A lot of stuff I share with you today is things I just heard on a CD this week, okay? So I'm always learning and growing myself individually so I can pass that on to you all as well.